भगवते वासुदेवाय। और छोटा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीमद् भागवत गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I welcome you to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Today is the 529th session and it is the 2nd of July 2026. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 10, the deliverance of the Yamala-arjuna trees. And we have to read text 9. So let us read the verse first and then we will discuss. I'll share the screen. हन्यन्ते paśavo yatra nirdayair ajitātmabhiḥ manyamānair imaṁ deham ajarāmṛtyu naśvaram. hanyante paśavo yatra nirdayair ajitātmabhiḥ manyamānair imaṁ deham ajarāmṛtyu naśvaram. hanyante paśavo yatra nirdayair ajitātmabhiḥ manyamānair imaṁ deham ajarāmṛtyu naśvaram. Unable to control their senses, rascals who are falsely proud of their riches or their birth in aristocratic families are so cruel that to maintain their perishable bodies, which they think will never grow old or die, they kill poor animals without mercy. Sometimes they kill animals merely to enjoy an excursion. Unable to control their senses, rascals who are falsely proud of their riches or their birth in aristocratic families are so cruel that to maintain their perishable bodies, which they think will never grow old or die, they kill poor animals without mercy. Sometimes they kill animals merely to enjoy an excursion. Yes, can you turn on the light? Ginger chili, if you can. Hmm. 5, 6. Yeah. Peel and grate. Okay. So, what should we do? Should we read the purport also first? Or maybe I'll just explain the verse first and then we will discuss Srila Prabhupada's purport. So what is the context here? Hanyante paśavo yatra. Hanyante means killed. Who? Animals. Pashu. Yatra. Where? Means that place. That place where animals are killed. And how they are killed? Nirdayair, without any mercy. Mercilessly they are killed. By who? Ajitātmabhiḥ. That means ajita. Jita means to control. Ajita means which is not controlled. That means those whose senses are not controlled. Such people mercilessly kill animals. So, and what else? Why? How they are able to kill like that? Manyamānair. That means they consider imaṁ deham, this body, ajara. Jara means old age. Ajara means there is no old age. And ajarāmṛtyu means there is no death. They consider this body to be free from all diseases, from old age and from death. That means they think that this body, in this body, they're going to live forever. However, what is the fact? Naśvaram. The truth is, this body, however you enjoy this body, ultimately it has to be finished. But these people, which people? Those who have not controlled their senses. People who have not controlled their senses, their hearts are merciless. Mercilessly, they kill animals. Why? They think that this body, that means their body, is free from old age, free from death. Although the fact is, this body, today, tomorrow, or after 10 years, it has to be finished. It is perishable. The body, yeah. So, what is the context here? Who's speaking? Narada Muni is speaking. Narada Muni is speaking. So, if you want to see the previous verse that we discussed, Narada Muni begins to speak. After seeing the condition, what happened was, when Narada Muni arrived on the scene, these two, Nalakuvara and Manigriva, the sons of Kuvera, were enjoying like two male elephants, with the way two male elephants enjoy with many female elephants. That way, these two sons of Kuvera, who is the treasurer of the demigods, that means he's very wealthy. These two sons were enjoying where? In Mandakini Ganga, on Kailash Parvat. They got entered into Mandakini Ganga fully naked, along with the girls of the demigods, who were also naked, and they were enjoying. So in yesterday's purport, we understood that when one has wealth, he becomes so intoxicated. Naturally, what will he do? He will engage in wine, women, and gambling. This is what a person who is intoxicated by wealth does. So that we saw in this verse, 8th verse. This is the first verse. So what happened was, the girls, they were immediately ashamed, and they came outside and they wrapped themselves with their saris and stood there with folded hands in front of Narada Muni. But Narada Muni was absorbed singing. When they heard Narada Muni's song, they immediately came outside. They felt ashamed and they were fearful that they may be cursed. So they came outside. And it seems that they even told these Nalakuvara and Manigriva, you also wear clothes. The great saintly person has come. But they didn't care. They didn't care. They were like, let him come. Who cares? Let him see whatever he wants to see. Like that. So utterly disrespectful, offensive, they were standing naked. So we also read how when the girls went out, they came outside naked. They didn't even care to cover their private parts. They just came outside and they were screaming, calling out loudly, making gestures. They were intoxicated, calling the girls to come back inside. So hearing their loud sounds, then Narada Muni came out of his meditation, hearing those sounds, and he looked on these two, Nalakuvara and Manigriva. And when he saw them, he could see their condition. So, and what were they doing? They were offending Narada Muni. In front of a sadhu, they entered into Ganga naked. That is an offense in itself. That's an offense. You cannot go naked into Ganga, the holy Ganga, sacred river Ganga. And also, why they entered? For sense gratification. They were enjoying with women in Ganga. That's offense. And now they came naked in front of Narada Muni. But Narada Muni, his heart is filled with compassion and he wants to give them, he wants to give his mercy to them. But what was blocking that mercy? Their offense was blocking. So Narada Muni wanted to give them his mercy. What is that mercy? He wanted to give them Bhagavad Sakshatkara. He wanted to give them bhakti. He wanted them to get the audience directly, to get to see the Lord in person, face to face, to witness the Lord's childhood pastimes and to give them bhakti. This was Narada Muni's benediction. However, the offense of Nalakuvara and Manigriva was blocking them from accessing that mercy. So in order to destroy their offense, Narada Muni decided to curse them first. By that curse, their offense would be destroyed, and what will remain in the end? The curse will be over and the offense will be destroyed. Only mercy will remain in the end. So this was Narada Muni's plan. But before he uttered the curse, in 5 verses, I believe, Narada Muni, is going to speak about the bad effects of intoxication caused by wealth, high birth. So they were suffering from that now. They were suffering from intoxication caused by wealth, beauty, high birth, and also their position, their prestige. They were the associates of Lord Shiva. So therefore, Narada Muni is loudly saying, so yesterday we read that those who are, attracted to the objects of enjoyment, those who are engaged in enjoying the objects that are dear to them, such people, by no other intoxication is their buddhi, their intelligence, destroyed the way it is destroyed by the intoxication of wealth. And also here it is said, so 2 ways it is explained. One way I explained to you yesterday, that is according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that it said that by other means such as high birth, learning, beauty. So these are also giving you some kind of intoxication, but this intoxication is not as powerful as the intoxication caused by wealth. Because when you are intoxicated by wealth, that destroys your intelligence to such an extent that along with that, because of that intoxication, automatically you will become addicted to sinful activities such as illicit sex, like drinking wine and gambling, etc. All other sinful activities will come when you are intoxicated by wealth, when you have wealth. So that was by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And I think Srila Jiva Goswami explains like this, that these two were intoxicated by wealth and also their birth, right? They are the sons of the wealthy Kuvera, and also their prestige, their position, high birth, being the sons of Kuvera. So they were wealthy, and also they were the sons of the great Kuvera. So both these things are so detrimental that by these automatically the other types of madness, other types of intoxication will follow. One who is intoxicated by wealth and high birth, he will automatically become intoxicated by other things also. And one more thing here, this point, Rajoguna is said. Rajoguna means the mode of passion. It is not that everyone who has wealth becomes intoxicated by wealth and he becomes mad. In their case, they were intoxicated because they were influenced by Rajoguna, the mode of passion. And because of the mode of passion, this wealth that they had, that has destroyed their intelligence. Okay? Now, how they were affected by Rajoguna? They had, so you see, time, place and circumstance also play a role in how the modes influence a person. For example, morning hours, a person may be, an alcoholic, let us say, but still in the early morning hours, he may be an alcoholic, but that time inspires him to do some puja, some worship activity. Why? Because morning hours are in the mode of goodness. Actually, Brahma Muhurta is like, that's transcendental. So morning hours are in the mode of goodness. You see? So naturally, that time is good. It will have, the mode of goodness will prevail on the consciousness of a person. So time is also, and how about night? Night is mode of ignorance. Like that. So time is, the time of the day decides which mode is influencing you the most. Similarly, place also. If you are in the forest, you see all sages, they go and stay in the forest. Why? Because forest is the mode of goodness. There they can do their tapasya, their penance peacefully. Whereas cities, and in cities also, where you have these bars, pubs, and, malls, these are all modes of passion. Actually, bars are mode of ignorance. But, shopping malls, these are, when a person goes to that place, he will be gripped by the mode of passion. Now he will get desires. Being in that atmosphere, he will get the desire to also buy so many things and enjoy in this way and that way, right? So mode of passion. So that place, when you go to that place, you will become influenced by the mode of passion. Or when you are in a brothel, you're influenced by the mode of ignorance, like that. Similarly, circumstances. So time, place, and circumstances are also deciding which modes are influencing you. So these two, Nalakuvara and Manigriva, they were wealthy and being under the influence of the mode of Rajoguna, under the influence of the mode of passion, they became intoxicated by their wealth. Like that. Okay, and of course they were drunk also. So many things. So that Rajoguna part, I think I didn't explain yesterday, so I covered that point today. So because of that, now Buddhi Bhramsho, their intelligence is destroyed, like that. So Narada Muni is saying, before uttering the curse, he is explaining what are the bad effects of having wealth, when you have wealth, and by that wealth, when you become intoxicated, how it degrades a person. So first verse, this we read yesterday. So, nahi anya jishato josyan buddhi bramsho rajogunaha. No other intoxication will destroy his intelligence the way wealth. Srimadad ajitātmabhiḥ. That means the wealth, intoxication caused by wealth. The way that destroys one's intelligence, like that, nothing else destroys. Why? Because when one is intoxicated by wealth, along with that, automatically he will become addicted to all other sinful activities like associating with women. Dyutam means gambling, and asavaha, drinking wine, etc. All these things will happen. Okay. So that was yesterday's verse. So in the next verse, in today's verse, we are seeing Narada Muni continues, hanyante paśavo yatra, and such people, one who is, so what is the context here? Someone who is intoxicated by wealth and high birth. What does he do? When one is intoxicated by wealth, what else does he do? Hanyante paśavo yatra nirdayair ajitātmabhiḥ. He will kill innocent poor animals mercilessly, nirdayair. One who has not controlled his senses. So obviously he is puffed up by his wealth, and then because of that he is addicted to different types of enjoyment, isn't it? Drinking wine, enjoying with women, gambling. What is all this? That means senses are not in control. Naturally, isn't it? He's addicted to all these things means what? His senses are not under his control anymore. Such people whose senses are not controlled, ajitātmabhiḥ, they become merciless. In order to enjoy, now they want to enjoy eating flesh. One more thing here, we also saw rajoguna, one who is influenced by rajoguna. When you're influenced by rajoguna, your buddhi bramshaha, your intelligence is destroyed. When you're influenced by rajoguna, your intelligence is destroyed, and then you're addicted to all types of sinful activities. So how you are influenced by rajoguna here? Because he has so much wealth and prestige and beauty. By that, he got influenced by rajoguna. Having all these things, they were influenced by rajoguna mode of passion, and by that their intelligence is completely destroyed, and because of that intoxication of wealth and high birth, etc., now they are addicted to all types of sinful activities, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication. Intoxication means drinking wine, etc. Such people whose senses are not under control, who are influenced by rajoguna, who are intoxicated by wealth, ajitātmabhiḥ, that means who have not controlled their senses, they become merciless. Nirdayaihi, they become merciless. Mercilessly, they kill. Paśavaha means animals. Why? How? That means how are they able to kill the animals mercilessly? Because manyamānair imaṁ deham ajarāmṛtyu naśvaram. They consider this perishable body. The fact is, this body is perishable. Everyone's body. Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartino Arjuna. Right? From Lord Brahma's planet until the lowest planet. Wherever you go, no body is eternal. All bodies have to be given up at some point. Of course, in higher planets, the demigods' bodies, there is no old age there. There is no disease. But their bodies are also not eternal. They have a lifespan. Their standard of enjoyment is more. no doubt. They don't sweat. They don't pass stool and urine. They also don't need to eat there, you know. They just drink. Like now we see they're drinking Varuni. Varuni, another information about Varuni. This Varuni also actually came when the Devatas and the Daityas were churning the milk ocean. Different items came out. Varuni also was one of them. So the Devatas took Varuni. This is an intoxicant, a very powerful wine. So everything about the demigods is very fine, whatever they take, even the liquor and everything is very fine. Of course, it's very, very intoxicating. But the demigods, their standard of enjoyment is higher, very high compared to human beings. Their bodies don't perspire, you know, they have this natural fragrance, you know, coming from their bodies. The water, even if they eat anything, they only eat in ghee. They don't eat any oils or anything. They don't eat, actually, Maharaj says, they just drink, you know, amrita, like that. And then they live, they enjoy. They can have, you know, all types of enjoyment. And there's no disease or old age also. Just they have, at this time, your, this is the last day in this body. Then finished. At that point, they have to give up that body. It's not gross the way we have, you know, like old age and then you suffer and then you die. It's not like that for them. But the point is, even the demigods who have such a high standard of life, their bodies are also not permanent. They are not eternal. Wherever you go from Brahma down to the Patala, all bodies have to come to an end. That is the point. Naśvaram. But these people who are intoxicated by wealth, and as a result of that intoxication, their intelligence is destroyed, being influenced by the mode of passion. They become addicted to all types of sense gratification, especially meat eating, intoxication, gambling, illicit sex. So when they become intoxicated, when they become addicted to these sense gratification, what will happen? They don't have mercy in their heart. Simply for the taste of their tongue, they can kill other animals. This is the detrimental side effect of having too much wealth. Try to understand. Accumulating more than what you need is dangerous. It's dangerous. Atyahara prayasascha. So there are 6 don'ts that Srila Rupa Goswami gives us in the Sri Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction. So in that, Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha. So the first two, Atyahara prayasascha. Atyahara means overeating or over accumulating, both. Accumulating more and more wealth or eating more and more, both. Atyahara. And Atyahara prayasascha, and over endeavoring, working 20 hours a day. There's no need, but you are over endeavoring for what? So that you can accumulate more. So both are detrimental to pure devotional service. There are 6. Prajalpa. Prajalpa means Gramya Katha. Talking about mundane topics, mundane subjects. Whether talking or watching or hearing, same thing. That will destroy your propensity to do pure devotional service. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha. Niyamagraha means following the rules, not following the rules and regulations, or following the rules and regulations just for the sake of following the rules and regulations. No, that is also detrimental. Completely not following the rules and regulations because we are Raganuga Bhaktas, which is an illusion. thinking that we are Raganuga Bhaktas, we don't have to follow rules and regulations. That is one illusion. And the other thing is strictly following rules and regulations, not considering why we are following those rules and regulations. These rules and regulations are being followed to please the Lord. So both are important. And then Janasangascha lolyamcha. Janasanga means associating with non-devotees, having close association with non-devotees. No, your relationship with non-devotees, whoever they may be, whether they are your family members or your community members or your colleagues or whoever they may be, if they are not devotees, you should not have close association, close friendships with them. What are close friendships? Revealing your heart confidentially and listening to them confidentially, all these things. That should be with devotees. Non-devotees, no. You shouldn't have. Why? Because if you have that, that will destroy your bhakti. Janasangascha. And lolyam. Lolyam means again greed. Greed. So these are the 6 impediments. Shadibir bhaktir vinashyati. It will destroy your bhakti, these 6 things. So in that, the first 2 are what? Atyahara and prayasascha. Atyahara means overeating or over accumulating and over endeavoring. That is the point here. So when one is Rajoguna, remember Rajoguna, what is the symptom of Rajoguna? Oh, you have so many desires in your heart for material desires. And to fulfill those material desires, you endeavor like anything. You are very interested in kamya karma. Kamya karma means fruitive work. You'll do this work, that work, so because I want that result. So this is the symptom of Rajoguna. So here also we are reading about Rajoguna. As a result of Rajoguna, what happens? One becomes addicted to these sinful activities. Senses are not under control. And what happens after that? To get what you want, to enjoy your desires, you will not, your heart becomes so hard. Your heart becomes merciless. You don't mind even killing animals. That's also life. But you will not mind even killing those animals just so that you can enjoy the taste of the flesh of that animal. People are fond of eating different types of flesh. You know, seafoods and this and that, so many different types of flesh. And there's a big business also. Slaughterhouses are maintained. 4-legged animals, big animals, they're killed. And there are big, huge slaughterhouses maintained to kill them so that people will enjoy. That means their hearts become merciless. Hanyante paśavo yatra nirdayair ajitātmabhiḥ. Because their senses are not under control, they become heartless. How they are able to do that? Because you see, they also give different types of explanations. They say animals have no soul. Animals were made by God for us to enjoy. They are made for us to eat. They give these type of explanations or justifications, false justifications. How they are able to do that? Manyamānair imaṁ deham ajarāmṛtyu naśvaram. Actually, the body is perishable. The body is going to die. But they consider that this body, that means my body, I will live forever. I am never dying. My family members are also not dying. We will live forever. And then big plans are made how we will enjoy forever. And then for me to enjoy and for my extended self to enjoy, I will kill others also, no problem. And I will enjoy. How all this is happening? Because of intoxication of wealth. You shouldn't forget that. It's starting from there. One who is wealthy, one who has a lot of money and is influenced by the mode of passion, this is how he is degrading. He becomes automatically addicted by other intoxications. His he is unable to control his senses and to fulfill his desires, he will mercilessly, he will not hesitate to even kill others mercilessly, because he is thinking his body is eternal and it will never fall sick, it will never die. That's when he is able to do such sinful activities. So now let us read Srila Prabhupada's purport on this. Once again, I'm reading the translation. Unable to control their senses, rascals who are falsely proud of their riches or their birth in aristocratic families are so cruel that to maintain their perishable bodies, see, the bodies are actually perishable, but to maintain their perishable body, do you actually need to eat meat to maintain this body? No, you don't. This body is going to die anyway. It's going to be perished anyway. But to maintain this body, they become so cruel that to maintain their perishable bodies, which they think will never grow old or die, they kill poor animals without mercy. To maintain my body, which is going to be perished anyway, to maintain this perishable body, I will kill poor animals without mercy. Why? Because of my false pride of my riches and my high birth in aristocratic family, I feel that I'm entitled to kill and enjoy. Heart becomes so cruel, so merciless. And further, Srila Prabhupada is saying, sometimes they kill animals merely to enjoy an excursion. Yes, not even to eat the meat. Isn't it? Hunting, what is hunting? They just want to go and kill animals, and that is, what is it called? You know, it is like a recreation or something. And then, you know, it's pleasure. To see an animal die by killing it, and you take pleasure in that. How cruel, how merciless the heart has become. Srila Prabhupada's purport, when the modes of passion and ignorance increase in human society, giving rise to unnecessary economic development. Please pay attention. Here the topic is unnecessary, right? You become intoxicated by wealth. So when the modes of passion and ignorance increase in society, human society, so what is the effect of increase of modes of passion and ignorance? You can actually meditate on each line. When you are in the mode of goodness, what is the lifestyle which is given to us in Shastras? Human beings, what type of food should you eat? Human beings should eat patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. Grains, fruits, vegetables, milk. This is the food which is recommended for human beings. Then how do you get these? You have to, you know, till the soil. And for that also you don't need big, you know, tractors and all those things. No need. You have, you know, oxen, bulls, cows give milk, bulls till the soil. But what is it? It is hard work, isn't it? You have to work hard physically. Even to milk the cow, they don't use machines, with hand. That is an exercise. If you have done yourself, you know. It's not, you know, very easy. You have to put your energy, you have to work hard to milk the cows, to till the soil. You have to make butter. To make butter, you churn. You have to work hard. This is the mode of goodness. That's why people would be fit. They would grind their own flour. If you have to make roti, then you grow your grain, wheat, and then you grind it. So much work, hard work is involved, even just for your maintenance. That is mode of goodness. Physically, you're actually doing that work. And in that type of work, there won't be much sin. Of course, there is some sin involved in every type of activity unknowingly. When you cook, some insects, they get killed in the fire. You keep water. How? There's no running water, by the way. You have to go and get water from the river, from, in pots, and you keep water there. So when you keep water in the pots, under the pots, some insects, they get accumulated, they die. When you sweep the house, some insects are swept and they may die. And sometimes when you're grinding flour, some insects may get stuck there, they may get killed. And also, when you kutna, right? You make some spices, grind some spices there also. So 5 types of sins happen unknowingly. But there is a remedy for that. 5 types of yajna are done by householders. So by doing these 5 types of yajna, these 5 types of sins are counteracted. But otherwise, if you live your lifestyle in the mode of goodness, sin is minimum. You won't be committing sin. And there is no over accumulation. You just earn as much as you need. There is no question of piling and accumulating too much. That is mode of passion. When you accumulate more than what you need, when you over endeavor to earn more and more and to stock it, right? I will keep so much. That is mode of passion. And when there is mode of passion, when you're accumulating wealth, then all these other things will follow. Intoxication because of wealth, and then other bad habits follow. Senses become uncontrolled. So if you see today's society where big stores and everything is big and everything is run by machines, what is the idea? I don't have to work hard. I have to get everything easily. Without having to work hard, I'll get everything easily. But this is the sign of the mode of passion. And then the mode of ignorance. Mode of passion and mode of ignorance. Because people want to become bus lazy, right? Sit in front of the television or whatever and just sit there. Where is hard work? So, and then so many diseases come because of that, or because of not having proper exercise. When the modes of passion and ignorance increase in human society, giving rise to unnecessary economic development. So when there is unnecessary economic development, very quickly, easily, if you're running a lot of money, right? Like in gambling or in stock markets or wherever, like quickly you're getting lots of money, you should understand. Then the modes of passion and ignorance are prominent there. So when the modes of passion and ignorance increase in human society, giving rise to unnecessary economic development, the result is that people become involved in wine, women, and gambling. Your work is in the modes of passion and ignorance, and you're earning unnecessary wealth. There is unnecessary economic development. What will you do with all that money? Now you want to go on vacation, and what do when you go on vacation? These things: wine, women, and gambling. That's all. And what happens after that? Then, being mad, they maintain big slaughterhouses or occasionally go on pleasure excursions to kill animals. So, how do they enjoy life? In this way, maintaining big slaughterhouses. There also, even when people eat meat in Vedic society, according to Vedic culture, they have to go and cut that animal themselves. You know, it is so much headache. Even if you have to kill a chicken, first of all, you have to cut it. And after you cut it also, it doesn't die immediately. And after it dies, then you remove all the feathers from the body. And there's so much treatment. Then cut it and clean it. And it's a whole day's project if you want to cook chicken in the house. From scratch, you have to go catch it, kill it, and then cook it. So therefore, people wouldn't eat every day. Once in a while. Even, as recent as, I would say, maybe like 30 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, maybe even in villages now, I don't know. But where they don't have these modern, slaughterhouses, that's how it is. It's not, and also it is costly. It's not cheap. Vegetables, you could get easily, you can grow. So eating meat was not a common thing. It's not an everyday thing. But mode of passion, what has it done? By opening these big slaughterhouses, now you just go to Walmart, there's a whole section of meat, all different types of meat. Just get whichever one you want, easily, quickly. Now every day, every meal you eat meat. And the result is what? Your body is not made to eat meat. Your intestines are not made to eat meat. Lions, tigers' bodies, their intestines are made to eat meat. They are small. The intestine is small. That means very quickly it is evacuated. It is not kept. That rotten stuff is not kept in the body. But our intestines are long. They are meant for eating vegetables. Like cows and, they have long intestines. They're not meant for eating meat. And imagine if you're stuffing this meat in the system and people fall sick. All types of, high cholesterol and heart problems and this and that. So many health issues will come. So all this is coming from where? From the modes of passion and ignorance. And so unnecessary economic development, then how do they spend their money? On wine, women, and gambling. Then being mad, they maintain big slaughterhouses. Why? You want it easily. Now you want wine, women, and gambling. For that also, you don't want to work hard. You want to get it very easily. So maintain big slaughterhouses. Or occasionally go on pleasure excursions to kill animals for fun. Forgetting that, however, one may try to maintain the body is subject to birth, death, old age, and disease. Such foolish rascals engage in sinful activities one after another. And how they are able to do these activities, killing and eating meat, how they are able to do that? Because they are thinking, they forget that I am also going to die, this body. You think people who are buying meat, they're actually thinking that, my body is, as devotees, I think that's always there in our mind. We have to, this body is going to end, right? But those who are not devotees, or those whose senses are not at all controlled, they don't think. In fact, they don't like to talk about death also. If you say anything about dying, they say, no, don't talk about it. Because that disturbs their enjoyment. If you start thinking about old age, disease, and death, then you're not able to enjoy whatever you're doing. So that's why forgetting that however you enjoy, the fact is you have to die. This body has to end. However, one may try to maintain the body. You can do everything within your power, but you cannot keep this body. You cannot keep the body of your dear ones. The body is subject to birth, death, old age, and disease. So forgetting that, such foolish rascals engage in sinful activities one after another. and they don't even see. So if they don't want to talk about death, then what to speak of after death? They don't accept that you are accountable for your actions. Whatever you're doing now, you will get reaction. Being dushkritis, they completely forget the existence of the supreme controller who is sitting within the core of everyone's heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridaya-arjuna tishtati. That supreme controller is observing every bit of one's activity, and he rewards or punishes everyone by giving one a suitable body made by material nature. Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. So we are responsible for each and every action that we do. Foolishly, we shouldn't think that I'm not responsible. That is foolishness. That is foolishness. We are responsible for everything that we do. And we should be, especially devotees, because we understand Bhagavad Gita, we shouldn't think that I can do anything I like because now I'm a devotee and I will be forgiven. Devotee doesn't think like that. Devotee does not. Devotee is very responsible. Devotee doesn't even want to harm an insect. You saw in the case of Mrigari. At one point, he would, before he met the devotee, before he met Narada Muni, he would half kill. He was a hunter by profession. So he would half kill animals because he took pleasure in seeing the animal suffering. He wouldn't just kill it right away, half kill it. He took pleasure in seeing that, in torturing that animal, the animal struggling for life. And that Mrigari, after he received the mercy of Narada Muni, now he started chanting the holy names of the Lord. He gave up all his occupation of hunting. He gave up all killing. And then he asked Narada Muni, so how will I get my food if I stop? This is all I know. I don't know any other profession. My father was a hunter and he taught me this. This is how I maintain my family. How will I survive? Narada Muni said, don't worry, I will send your food. So he went to the outskirts of the village. He sat there on the, I think on the banks of the river, and then he would chant all day. Now the villagers found out a hunter has become a sadhu. So everybody came to see. And when you go to a sadhu, you don't go empty-handed, you take something. So they would all bring, someone would bring some rice, some fruits, like that, vegetables. He had so much now, he couldn't eat all that was being sent. So once when Narada Muni went to see him, how he is doing, he brought his friend also, Parvat Muni. Together they went. And then they saw that Mrigari, when he saw his Guru Maharaj, Narada Muni, come, started jumping and going. So he said, why are you jumping? Oh, there were ants on the way. I didn't want to step on them and kill them. See the transformation. At one point, he would take pleasure in half killing animals, like big animals, like deer, rabbits. He would half kill. And now he didn't even want to step on ants. That's a devotee. That's the transformation that happens in the heart of a devotee. And of course, he said, oh, don't send me so much food. We are not able to finish it. So much you are sending. Don't send so much. Send us less food. Also, another lesson is, you don't have to worry for your maintenance. It will be arranged by the Lord if you simply become. But it is a matter of having that faith. That's why when you have Dhrida Shraddha, then you don't worry about where my food will come from, how I will live. One way or the other, Krishna will arrange. Your only effort will be how to render devotional service to Krishna for his pleasure 24/7. That will be your only endeavor once we get Dhrida Shraddha. But until that time, we have to do karma. But prescribed karma we should do, and in the mode of goodness, important. Yesterday's purport also we saw, Srila Prabhupada said, human life is, naturally you will be in modes of passion and ignorance. But human beings, the Vedas are guiding us to come to the mode of goodness. Don't stay in the modes of passion and ignorance. Asatoma sadgamaya. Right? Don't be in darkness. Mode of ignorance means darkness. Rise from that. Come to the mode of goodness. Being Dushkritis, they completely forget the existence of the Supreme Controller who is sitting within the core of everyone's heart. So when someone has uncontrolled senses, you think they are conscious of Paramatma in the heart and who is actually witnessing, and whatever I am doing, I will get. Heart has become merciless, it has become hard. So they completely forget the existence of the Supreme Controller who is sitting within the core of everyone's heart. From Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridaya arjuna tishtati. The Lord is Ishvara, Paramatma is sitting in the heart of all living entities. That Supreme Controller is observing every bit of one's activity. Upadrishta, he is witnessing all our activities. Upadrishta, Anumanta, sanctioning. So, who is sitting within the core of everyone's heart, that Supreme Controller is observing. Madhava, check if it is overflowing. That Supreme Controller is observing every bit of one's activity, and he rewards or punishes everyone by giving one a suitable body made by material nature. So the body we get is the result of our past actions. And what we are doing now, that will result in our future body. Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarudhani maya. Who is it that is wandering? Brahmayan sarva bhutani. All living entities are wandering. They are sitting like a, so the body is like a machine, right? The machine is operated by a person, like that. So like you sit in the car. So the body is like the car and the living entity is the driver there inside, like that. Not even the driver actually, is the passenger. Because the body is driven by the three modes. In this way, sinful persons automatically receive punishment in different types of bodies. So, according to my actions, I get the next body, and that body, getting the body itself is a punishment. Birth, old age, disease, and death. Sinful persons automatically receive punishment in different types of bodies. Because the type of actions you do now, that is the type of body you get in future. Diseased body, or weak body, poor body, like that, ugly body, many different types of bodies based on our actions. The root cause of this punishment is that when one unnecessarily accumulates wealth, and not understanding this, if we, on one hand we are chanting, that means we are devotees, but on the other hand, our attachment is still to the same thing. I have to earn more and more, and I have to invest here and invest there and multiply my money, and I have to build so many buildings, and I have to, this is how I'm going to get my retirement income, and this and that, and I will save for my future generations. What is this? No. The root cause of this punishment is that when one unnecessarily accumulates wealth, one becomes more and more degraded. We cannot, they don't go hand in hand. If you are after accumulation of wealth and you're thinking you'll also make progress in bhakti, it won't happen because it won't let you. That's what Kali said, remember, to Parikshit Maharaj. Give me one more place. Parikshit Maharaj said, where there is accumulation of gold. He was very happy. Why? Because where there is accumulation of gold, I won't let them chant only. The devotees also, poor devotees, now Kali will engage them in accumulation of wealth, and they become mad after that, intoxicated by that accumulation of wealth. They forget about chanting. In Kali Yuga, there is one good thing. It's full of faults, but there is one good quality. What is that? Simply by chanting the holy names of the Lord, you can get all perfection. But Kali's confidence is, I won't let them chant. I will keep them busily engaged in money making, accumulation of wealth, and by that they'll be intoxicated. They won't chant. They'll be degraded. The root cause of this punishment is that when one unnecessarily accumulates wealth, one becomes more and more degraded, not knowing that his wealth will be finished with his next birth. That's why buddhi bhramshaha, intelligence is spoiled, intelligence is destroyed. You are not able to see that why am I working so hard? Why am I accumulating this wealth? I'm thinking for my sons and daughters, I will save this and that. But when you leave this body, you don't know who your son is, who your daughter is. Only your karma will take you to your next destination. Why all this is happening? Because of unnecessarily accumulating wealth. See, what is Srila Prabhupada saying? The root cause of this punishment, what punishment? Getting different types of bodies and then suffering. The root cause of this is that when one unnecessarily accumulates wealth, one becomes more and more degraded. How one becomes degraded, we saw. When you get more wealth, you become intoxicated by that wealth. You become addicted to all different types of sense gratification. Senses are not controlled. And then you also don't hesitate to commit sinful activities, kill others for the sake of your sense gratification, because you're so addicted to sense gratification. And then when you die, now your karma will give you another body where you have to suffer. The root cause of this punishment is that when one unnecessarily accumulates wealth, one becomes more and more degraded, not knowing that his wealth will be finished with his next birth. You cannot carry all this wealth. So much you're working hard to accumulate, but you know, even now, after you're 50, you're coming, Shastra says after 50, just give up everything. Give up family, give up wealth, everything. Now fully you focus on chanting Hare Krishna. Even if you're at home, simply mentally, you just detach yourself from everything. But even after 50, even after 60, and even in 70s, still people are thinking, oh, this, how to multiply here, how to... It's a very sad condition, actually. The person is not able to see that this wealth is not going to go with me. This is madness. Nasadu manye yata atmanoyam asannapi kleshada asa dehaha. This is Rishabdev's instructions, 5th canto, 5th chapter. I can show you that verse. Nunam pramattah kurute vikarma yadindriya pritaya aprinoti na sadhu manye yata atmanoyam asannapi kleshada asha dehaha. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of his life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living, right? You have to have a better house, you have to have a better car, you have to have a better this, like materialistic living. He becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. Now, to increase your standard of living, you need so much money, and to get such quick money, lots of money quickly, you will engage in sinful activity. Easy, how to get money easily. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body, which although temporary is the cause of his misery. This body is the cause of our misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, isn't it? Living entity has nothing to do with this body. Living entity, Jivera Swarupahoy Krishnera Nityadas. Then why he is getting this body? Why he is suffering birth, old age, disease and death? He has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. It's because of sense gratification, he's getting one after another material bodies and he's suffering now. And after getting this body, again he is implicating himself in sense gratification, which will give him more suffering in future. So Rishabdev is saying that I think it is not befitting an intelligent man. If you're an intelligent person, you should not involve yourself again in the activities of sense gratification. Animal killing is prohibited. Every living being, of course, has to eat something. Jiva jivasya jivanam. But one should be taught what kind of food one should eat. So that's why I was telling you that for tigers and lions, eating other animals is no problem because their intestine is made in such a way. Jiva jivasya jivanam. Of course, one animal or one life form is food for another. But eat what is prescribed for you. Don't eat that which is not prescribed for you. Your body, your intestine is not made for that food. But one should be taught what kind of food one should take. Therefore, the Ishopanishad instructs, Tena tyaktena bhunjita. One should eat whatever is allotted for human beings. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9:26, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti pahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit or water, I will accept it. Krishna is saying this. No? A devotee therefore does not eat anything that would require slaughterhouses for poor animals. And what is this whole thing about imitation meat? If we are against meat, why we should promote imitation meat and imitation jerky and this and that? What's the whole idea? That means we don't want to give up that taste. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit or water, basically the thing is make life simple. Simple living, high thinking. This is not simple living. Again, we are using all those machines and everything to make imitation meat, imitation beef and imitation jerky. And then as devotees, we enjoy eating that. Very simple living. Simple living means where you don't have to spend too much energy, too much effort for your eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Save your time for chanting, reading, hearing. Make your life simple. That is simple living. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit or water, I will accept it. A devotee therefore does not eat anything that would require slaughterhouses for poor animals. Rather, devotees take prasad of Krishna. Tena tyaktena bhunjita. Now, what do you cook for Krishna in Rajbhog? You cook rice, dal, sabjis, sweets. That's all. Human beings should eat that. Krishna recommends that one give him patram pushpam phalam toyam, a leaf, a flower, fruit or water. Animal food is never recommended for human beings. Instead, a human being is recommended to take prasad, remnants of food left by Krishna. Yagya shishtasinaha santo muchyante sarva kilbishai. Yes. Without offering to Krishna, Krishna will not accept meat. Then you cannot eat those things. Yagya shishtasinaha santo muchyante sarva kilbishai. Without offering, if you eat anything, if you're eating anything simply for yourself and not offering it to Krishna, something which cannot be offered to Krishna if you're eating, then you're eating only sin. Yagya Shishtasinaha Santo Muchyante Sarva Kilvishay. If one practices eating prasad, even if there is some little sinful activity involved, one becomes free from the results of sinful acts. So that's why I was telling you, there is some sin involved when you cook, in Grihastha life. Unknowingly, some sins are done, but there is a remedy for that, right? Unknowingly, whatever is done, when you offer it to the Lord and when you serve, devotees as grihasthas, guests, you feed them and you feed animals like this, that's taken care of. Those sins are counteracted. You don't have to worry too much about that. If one practices eating prasad, even if there is some little sinful activity involved, one becomes free from the results of sinful acts. So, what are we reading here? Narada Muni is going to curse Nalakuvara and Manigriva. Why? Because he wants to give them the mercy. What is the mercy Narada Muni wants to give? He wants to give them bhakti and Bhagavad Sakshatkara. He wants to give. But what is blocking that mercy? Why they are not able to access that mercy? Because of their offense, they are not able to access. They have committed offenses to Narada Muni and also to Ganga Devi. So, to destroy that offense, Narada Muni is cursing them. This curse will counteract. Normally, when you commit an offense, you have to chant the holy names and then that offense is destroyed. But in some special cases, the spiritual master can remove the offenses by his power also. So here the mercy is coming in the form of a curse. So by that curse, the offense is removed and then the mercy that he wants to give, what is that? Bhagavad Sakshatkar and Bhakti that Nalakuvara and Manigriva are going to get. So before actually uttering the curse, Narada Muni is explaining why he is cursing. What are the detrimental effects of being intoxicated by wealth, accumulating wealth. So yesterday we saw one verse that by no other intoxication, one's intelligence is destroyed to such an extent as it is destroyed by the madness of wealth, accumulation of wealth. Because by that, all other bad habits will come. And in today's verse, we are seeing that when someone is uncontrolled in their senses, continuation of previous verse, where how you became uncontrolled? Because of madness of wealth. All other bad habits came. That means now your senses are uncontrolled. Then when one is not controlled like that, what will he do? He won't even hesitate to kill other poor animals mercilessly just to satisfy his tongue. And why he is able to do that? Because he is thinking that his body is eternal. It will not die. It will not become old. Even though that body is temporary, he is thinking that his body will remain forever. So this is the other, second shloka by Narada Muni of what happens when one is intoxicated by wealth. So further we will see, tomorrow we will see the next verse. There are 5 verses like this before Narada Muni actually utters the curse. What is the curse? That they should become trees. So before that, further we will see. Now we will also read Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday, we started reading the first shloka of the 15th chapter. The 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is entitled Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person. So, before we started reading the purport, I actually explained, I actually explained in a story form. Krishna is saying, Urdhva Moolam Adha Shakam Ashwatham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Vedasa Vedavid. So, Krishna is, in the previous chapter, we saw the importance of bhakti. By doing bhakti, avyabhichari bhakti, one transcends the 3 modes and he will realize Brahman. He can get Aikya Jnanam. He can go and merge into Brahman. That was said. Then what is the importance of Vedas? What is the importance of Vedas? So that is being explained here. That means, what is the role of the Vedas? So to explain that, that means how a person becomes entangled in materialistic way of life. And what should he do to come out of this? That is being explained. So Krishna is explaining this by giving the analogy of a tree. So he said, there is one tree, it's called Ashwatha, that the name of the tree is Ashwatha, but it is a very peculiar tree. It's not ordinary. It has its roots upward and its branches are downward. The branches are growing and they're growing down and the root is up. And the leaves of that are growing on the twigs and branches, these leaves are the Vedic mantras, Vedic hymns. So, and one who knows this tree, he is the knower of the Vedas. So now, what does this mean? So that we discussed yesterday. Maybe I can show you that tree once again to refresh your memory. See, this is the tree that we discussed yesterday. So the roots are upwards. Where are the roots? The roots are in Satyaloka. The branches are, what are the branches? The branches are the various bodies. Demigod body, human body, tiger body, insect body, Rakshasa body, all bodies from top to down. So that means there are bodies in Satyaloka also, right? So you'll find branches in Satyaloka, then in Tapoloka, Janaloka, Maharloka, Swargaloka, Bhuvarloka, Bhuloka, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala, like that. Everywhere you'll find these branches. What are these branches? They are the various bodies. What are the leaves? The Vedic mantras are the leaves. So these leaves are beautifying this tree. Another point is Ashwatham. Ashwatha means it is eternal. It is eternal, like that. So what is this tree then? This tree is sadhana. Sadhana. What do you mean by sadhana? Sadhana means a practice that gives you a result. The means which gives you result. So this tree is called sadhana. It's going to give us results. What are the results that the tree is going to give? What do you get from tree? Fruits, right? So what are the fruits that are growing on this tree? The fruits are dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha are the fruits. Now how fruits are formed in a tree? How plant food is made? It's made by the leaves, isn't it? The leaves, through photosynthesis, are forming plant food, chlorophyll. And by that, the whole tree is maintained with this plant food. So the leaves, they take water from the roots, light, and then also nitrogen and carbon dioxide. Using all this, the leaves are making food. And excess food is stored in the form of fruits. So this tree, Ashwatha tree, is the sadhana. It's compared to sadhana. Sadhana means, what is the sadhana? The work that you do, isn't it? Sadhana, different types of sadhana are there. You do karma, jnana, bhakti, right? Sadhana, some practice you're doing. But here, this tree, it is made of the three modes of material nature. So obviously here karma only, the sadhana that you do. And what are the results that you get by doing this sadhana? The fruits that you get are dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Now, what type of dharma you should do? Who is saying? The Vedic mantras are saying. That's why the leaves are most important here. The Vedic mantras are guiding us about what work to do, and then what is the artha you will get, and then how you can enjoy yourself, and finally how you can get liberation. All this knowledge you're getting from the Vedic mantras, the Vedas. Okay, so these Vedic mantras are these leaves that we discussed yesterday, but we did not read Srila Prabhupada's purport. Now, based on this, let us, with that background, let us read Srila Prabhupada's purport today. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas." Purport. After the discussion of the importance of Bhakti Yoga, one may question, what about the Vedas? It is explained in this chapter that the purpose of Vedic study is to understand Krishna. So when you read, what is the title of this chapter? Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person. So even though you are reading about this tree is producing the fruits of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Yes, but further when you read in this chapter, you will understand that Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyaha. The purpose of all the Vedas is to know Krishna only. That's the whole purpose of the Vedas. So it is explained in this chapter that the purpose of Vedic study is to understand Krishna. Therefore, one who is in Krishna consciousness, who is engaged in devotional service, already knows the Vedas. So if you pass high school, then you can apply for a college, right? You can get admission into a college. If somebody is studying in college, what does it mean? That means he is not required to go to school anymore, high school. He doesn't require. It's not that you are in college, but I did not actually enroll in a school, so I have to go and finish that. No, you are already in college. If you're in college, means you're done with school, the requirements of schooling. You're done with high school. However, you may have done it. You may have done it online, or you may have done it, through correspondence, or you may have done it in school, whatever it is. But that requirement is fulfilled now. You don't need to go back to high school if you are in college. Like that, if somebody is a devotee, someone who is in Krishna consciousness, who is engaged in devotional service, that means he got Dhrida Shraddha and he is doing devotional service. That means he's already the knower of the Vedas. There's no need to now go back and study the Vedas scrutinizingly. Because the purpose of studying the Vedas is to become Krishna conscious. If you are Krishna conscious, means the purpose of studying Vedas is fulfilled. You don't have to go back and study those now. The entanglement of this material world is compared here to a banyan tree. Okay, pay attention. The entanglement of this material world is compared to a banyan tree. For one who is engaged in fruitive activities, there is no end to the banyan tree. That's why it's called Ashwatham. So if you are simply attached to following the Vedic prescriptions, right? I'll do this type of yajna and I'll get this result, and you do everything according to Vedas only. But your whole purpose is how to get material results. Dhanam dehi, this dehi, that dehi, right? I want all these things. For that, I will follow this vrata, this puja, and this, as it is prescribed in Vedas. What will happen? Eternally, you will be stuck here only, life after life after life. That's why, for one who is engaged in fruitive activities, what is fruitive activity? Activities that you do in expectation of a fruit, material fruit. That is fruitive activity. As long as you engage in fruitive activities, there is no end to this banyan tree. That means your material existence will continue, entanglement in this material world. That is why this tree is also called the tree, samsara tree. Samsara means getting bodies one after another. Life after life after life. You keep getting one body after another. This is samsara. This tree is called the tree of samsara. If you are engaged in fruitive activity, then you will be stuck in this tree, samsara tree. He wanders from one branch to another, to another, to another. What did we say are the branches? Bodies. So he wanders from one branch to another means from one body to another body to another body. The tree of this material world has no end. And for one who is attached to this tree, there is no end. You cannot find out. Can you trace back? You know, when will be the, what was your, where were you 10 births before? Or where will you be 10 births after now? Or if there is an end, which is the last birth, can you tell? For you or for anyone else? No, you cannot. That is, if you are simply engaged in fruitive work, I'm saying. It's a different thing. If you come in contact with a devotee, you take to devotional service, that's different story. But somebody who is engaged in fruitive activity, is there any end? When that cycle will, no, it will go on, eternally it will go on. That's why nitya baddha. Nitya baddha means eternally conditioned. If you are simply engaged in fruitive activity, there is no end. This samsara will continue. The tree of this material world has no end. And for one who is attached to this tree, there is no possibility of liberation. If you are simply attached to this, actually, we are going in the same line in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita also. There also Narada Muni is saying the same thing to Nalakuvara and Manigriva. That you are just thinking, my body will go on forever. My body will never end, isn't it? That's when you are committing all types of sinful activities because you are under that impression. So similarly here also, that the tree of this material world has no end, and for one who is attached to this tree means you are attached to your body and extensions of your body, and you want to keep it forever. Even if you become an old man, you will not say, okay, now I will give up this body so that I can get another fresh body. No, an old man will never say that. Rather, he will think, किसी न किसी तरह से काम चला लेंगे. This body is good. His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj also says, once he met one old man, he was about to die. Everything was finished pretty much. He's just going to leave his body. So at that time, Maharaj said, at this stage, you should leave home. You should go to Kashi, Benares, somewhere, in some holy place. You should leave your body there. So you'll be free from attachment. And this old man was saying, what, Swamiji? My home is the best place. I will look at all my family members and I will give up my body. That will not free you from this tree. You'll be looking at your family members crying for you, and then that attachment will not, you'll become a ghost, he said. Because of that attachment, even after you are kicked out of that body, you'll be a ghost. And then being a ghost, you'll trouble all your family members. So therefore, attachment to this body and extensions of this body, to your house, to your property, to your wealth, this will not let you become liberated. It will keep you in this, you'll continue in this tree only. You'll simply be changing from one branch to another branch. So the Vedic hymns, the tree of this material world has no end. That means it's not that after 100 births, then you are liberated. It's not like that. It will go on forever. If you are attached to fruitive work, it will go on forever. For one who is attached to this tree, there is no possibility of liberation. That's the thing. There's no possibility of liberation. That's why this tree is called Ashwatha. There's no end to it. It will go on eternally. The Vedic hymns meant for elevating oneself are called the leaves of this tree. This tree's roots grow upward because they begin from where Brahma is located, the topmost planet of this universe. If one can understand this indestructible tree of illusion, then one can get out of it. So that we discussed yesterday. So we have another 3 paragraphs. Maybe we'll keep it for tomorrow because the time is up again today. 3 more paragraphs of purport. We will continue tomorrow. Okay? I'll stop here. Thank you all so much. Granth-raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Vanchakapitarivyascha kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitānaṁ pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Prabhuji.
Thank you,